Recently, you must have heard and seen a lot about Indrani Mukerjea, her husband, Peter Mukerjea, and their family issues amid the release of their documentary series on Netflix. But is this drama limited to that? Of course not. The Mukerjea family, along with some of the top politicians, have also been in the news for their notorious money activities. Interesting information, but too much to handle, right? Apparently, their business, INX Media, has been one of the leading media houses of its times, but its ship tanked as all was not right in the business. Mukerjea and INX Media's stories are full of twists and turns, with a big scam attached to them. For now, let's understand why INX Media failed to maintain the charm and what went wrong with it. How did it all begin? The drama began in 1996 when Indrani Mukerjea, a former HR consultant and media executive, started her venture INX Services Private Limited as an HR consultancy company. During this time, Indrani was touching the heights of success professionally, but her personal life was also getting better with her meeting the former media executive and Star India CEO, Peter Mukerjea. Their friendship led to closeness, which resulted in a small ceremony marriage in New Delhi. Since the company had leading Indian clients, including Reliance Industries and Star News, Indrani planned to shift her business base to Mumbai in 2006. With everything flourishing for the couple on both fronts, they incepted INX Group in December 2006, which had small subsidiary companies, including INX Services, INX Executive Search, INX News, and INX Media. The couple held 50% of the stake in INX Media, and the rest was held by private equity firms. Not bad at all. Peter Mukerjea and Indrani Mukerjea slowly and gradually became a renowned name in the media industry and the limelight of high-end parties. Often the socialite couple could be seen on page 3 of the leading newspapers with top celebrities and politicians. This clearly speaks of their high-profile network. It was a life full of glitters, with awards and accolades falling. In fact, Indrani even bagged a position as one of the 50 women to watch in the Wall Street Journal. Indeed, a life anyone would dream of. By now, you must have understood what Indrani wanted from life. Everything fancy. But was the journey easy and smooth? A big no. Like any other entrepreneur, the couple had their share of struggles, conflicts, and dilemmas to grow in the industry. In 2006, another new media company, INX News, was formed by them, and it brought a whole lot of disputes with it. INX Media became a 26% stakeholder in the newly formed company, as the Indian government restricted it from holding more than that due to constraints in the FDI rules. To overcome this, one of the companies of Indrani Mukerjea, IM Media, held a big chunk of 51% of INX News, while she owned 17% of INX News. Unfortunately, Peter could not do so as he was a British national. By 2007, one of the leading journalists of that time, Wee Song Wee, was appointed as CEO and held a 17% stake. He was then CEO and editor-in-chief of News X, a channel owned by INX Media. The conflict was all about the company's stake, as a result of which Song Wee resigned from his position in 2008. Just a few days later, Indrani fired about 5 of the journalists over some issues. Looks like power was spreading its magic. What led to the downfall of INX Media? With so much happening around the INX Group, it was bound to be under scrutiny one day or the other. In 2008, a big hustle and bustle of the media group came to light when the Income Tax Department asked for clarifications on the foreign direct investment of INX Media. The questions were big enough to break the entire castle of INX Group. So, the whole case goes back to the time when INX Media was formed. The company's permissible limit source of its funds from FDI was 4.62 crore rupees. But the company somehow managed to source 305 crore rupees. How? Well, that's the scam. Indrani and Peter Mukerjea, as the promoters of INX Media, went to the chairman of the Foreign Investment Promotion Board seeking permission for its FDI from 3 Mauritius-based investors to run multiple channels under INX Media. The purpose of the FDI was to create a downstream investment to approximately 26% stake, that is the share of INX Media in INX News. FIPB fairly approved the inflow, but restricted the company from making a downstream investment. However, Indrani and Peter hardly cared about the permission. When the case was detected by the Income Tax Department, a formal complaint was filed with CBI to unfurl the truth. In the case filed, CBI categorically mentioned that INX Media intentionally played around with the permissions and approvals to carry out the downstream investment. What was more shocking? The company received funds worth 305 rupees crore in exchange for shares to foreign investors, and you'll be shocked to know the sham amount of the shares issued. The price of one share of INX Media was merely 10 rupees, but to the investors, it was issued at a premium, which was about 800 rupees, almost 80 times more than the face value. Can you imagine? The scam did not end here, my friend. On unlocking the details of the case, the authorities were expecting a clarification from INX Media. But as usual, the company chose the wrong path and tried to leverage its political connections to run from the case. Indrani and Peter allegedly bribed Karti Chidambaram, son of then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. Two of Karti's companies helped INX Media to evade the company from all the allegations. Aftermath of the whole scam, Indrani and Peter sold off their 30% stake in INX Media after its losses accumulated to 800 crore rupees, while the total debt amounts to 100 crore rupees. Both got down from their positions, and Pradeep Goel took over as the new MD. The channel was then renamed and rose to fame as INX Media. What happened to the culprits? Well, for years, the case vaguely went on for years until 2014, when the Central Board of Direct Taxes compiled and unveiled the tax history of the entire INX group, and something more unfortunate happened. The shining Mukerjeas were again in trouble for money laundering worth 275 crore rupees. With this, the case which went under the sheets again got the limelight. After the arrest of Indrani Mukerjea in 2015, ED planned to reopen the case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002, and by 2017, a formal case against all the involved parties, including Karti Chidambaram, was filed by ED. By February 2018, Karti was arrested in Chennai and brought to Delhi. However, the lucky fellow got bailed within 23 days. Even Indrani accepted that Chidambaram and INX Media closed a deal to secure FDI approval. After this, all the properties of Karti worth 54 crore rupees were seized. Post this, the man got twirled in multiple cases. The very next year, his father P. Chidambaram was arrested by CBI but got bail in 3 to 4 months. Peter and Indrani Mukerjea were entangled and jailed in the murder case of Shinabara. And here goes another dramatic end to an ambitious project.